Hello everybody, I am the syfyhero and welcome to Sunless Sea Submariner. Now this is a game that I've actually been playing for a while, if you must know, so I kind of gotten a little bit good at it, but honestly, this is one of those games that you can't ever really be good at. It's mostly a game where you are a sailor, and your job is to pretty much sail this underwater ocean and try and survive as best you can. Don't lose your sanity, all that sort of stuff. So, just to show you out, I think I might make this into a little mini-series, but what we're going to do is we're going to start a new game. Yep. And, oh my gosh, this game is really atmospheric to a really good point. It has lots of good drawings, everything is so well done. And the developers, they're coming out with another game called, The Room with 1,000 Doors, or something like that, and I really want to try that one out. Maybe I'll put that one out, but as you can see right here, we're making our captain. 3 decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Wait, bats? Now it lies a mile below the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the undersea. Now, choose a past or a past wreathed in shadows. I'm gonna choose a past. We're gonna do this real fast. We now have a lodge and a room above the blind helmsman. Okay. Now you're a captain. Now you belong to undersea. But who were you? Were we a street urchin? A poet? Veteran of the campaign of '68? Ordained priest? A natural philosopher? To tell you truthfully, I think we should go for the poet, because it gives us the skill trickery and knowledge, and that's probably going to help us out a lot more. Yeah. Educated and articulate, you seek the sensation at sea. How lucky you had a legacy to spend. Your long-vanished father had a rich patron, it seems. This will give you a bonus to pages, the skill, trickery, and knowledge. A wise soul experience, you have intuition, and your friend, the shy navigator. He's a little vague, but he probably knows what he's doing. Perhaps you can find someone better eventually. Talk to navigator, find out why he went to Z. Your a stranger quality has gone. Welcome to the world. You've gained 20 echoes, 25 pages. You have 1 sly navigator, and someone's looking for passage. Okay. What does winning mean to you? Your father's bones, immortality, fulfillment, wealth, a private kingdom. You want the mansion, servants, fine clothes, a family, perhaps, private kingdom. Can't do that because it's locked. Honestly, I think we should go for looking for our father's bones. I mean, I'm kind of doing this one in another game that I made on this, but honestly, this one I think has a little bit more of a story to it than immortality. But yeah, let's go and find our father's bones. Full Fathom 5. Your father was lost at sea, you never knew him, but you've dreamed of him. Find him and return his remains to London for a decent burial. When you found your father's bones, you retired to victory. Explore fallen London to find your first clue. Okay, so our goal is to find our father's bones. How do we go by? Madame? Sir, citizen, my lord, my lady, perhaps you really do come from a noble captain. I like my lord. And then who are we gonna look like? We'll go with this guy. We'll call him Mr. He's got a nice. We're gonna call him Mr. Whiskers. There we go. Mr. Fine Whiskers. Mr. Whiskers. There we go. Alright, your father lost at sea so very long. Your trail was cold, but now you have a lead. Mr. John Huffman, editor of the I can't read that. Unexpurgated Unexpurgated? Unexpurgated London Gazette. He's published your poetry from time to time. 1 week ago, he casually mentioned that your turn of phrase is very like your father's. Okay, so he might know something. Let's go find him. Coffee at Caligula's. Sorry, half the names in here are hard to pronounce if you must know. Huffman curls his fingers around his steaming cup for protection against the dank cold of the morning. Oh yes, I knew him. A man of some talent, your father. But he turned that talent to, love poetry. Ghostwriting, if you understand me. And as you may know, love poetry draws the attention of particular power. He glances out the window. You follow his gaze to where the spires of the Echo Bazaar rise above London. Huffman leans forward. The masters of the bazaar, he said very quietly, took an interest in your father. So although I liked him, and although I like you, I'll need something to set against the risk. Bring me news. News from the Z. Bring Huffman a Z story, a tale of terror, and a memory of distant shores, and he'll tell you more. They can be found in many places around the Z, or purchased far away in Irem. Okay, so we have to go to sea to find this stuff. In order to come back here and get stuff. Submariner tutorial. Welcome, delicious friend. How to acquire a submarine, I understand. I already know how to get a submarine, and it's quite simple. You actually have to go down to the very bottom of the map and find a small continent that will actually allow you to go to sea. Well, underneath the Z, and you'll find a lot more stuff under there, but for right now, we're going to focus mostly on the top, because under Z, everything underneath the Z is pretty much deadly, and it just makes the game a whole lot more interesting and harder, but still, it's a good idea to do for later on. Advice for captains. Something that you should know is that this book right here is just kind of gives you everything to need to know about the game if you want to read up more on how everything works. I kind of just threw myself into it when I was first beginning. Didn't really read anything, but one thing I did find was that if you sell your advice, you get a little bit more money that you can use for your expeditions, and that's going to help you out a lot. Trust me. These are all the upgrades and stuff to our boat that we can buy. We're going to need to upgrade the boat pretty quickly here. Mostly we're going to have to work on the engines right here. So we need to get around 500. Because without really good engines, we're going to be slow going across this ocean. We won't be able to get far. So for right now, we have 10 fuel and 5 supplies. That should get us a pretty good journey started. We have Invictus Token. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. You're on Unforgiving mode with no save slots beside the basic autosave. You will lose this token if you switch from Unforgiving to Merciful mode. Honestly, since this is a playthrough, I'm not going to go with Unforgiving. So we're going to go here. We're going to go manual save. Sunless, yes, we're going to switch to Merciful mode. Then we're going to save Mr. Whiskers as a new save. There we go. And that should get rid of that. Yeah, it gets rid of it. Like I said, this is just going to be a fun playthrough. We're going to try and find our father's bones the best we can. There's no promises. I started this quest a long time ago with one of my previous game, and it got kind of sidetracked really fast because everything started coming up, more interesting stuff came up, and honestly, this game is all about the exploration of everything around you. So, agree to carry the anxious university student to Hunter's Keep. He has no money, so the other captains have no interest, but he's passionate youth and promises as stays on Lorne Flukes will be rewarding enough. Okay, we can accept him. He'll probably give us money for taking him there, so that'll help us. We don't really need this at all. Then if we go through London, there are a couple places that we can look at right now. Offer passes to a tomb colonist. An immigrant will pay you to be taken north to Venderbright. Alright, we can do that. That should be on our location. I know in a typical sense where Venderbright is, and it's upwards. Put a ship to dry dock. No, we don't need to do that. Hire on more crew. We have 8 crew members at the moment. We can't do anything else, so well, we can go to Admiralty Survey Office. The Admiralty's picket fleets and intelligence networks are long gone. The survey office pays Z captains a small sum for recent information. Ask if there's anything in particular they need. Well, if we can be assured of your discretion, ask to speak to a higher authority. So, it's always good to help these guys out, because they will give you money or supplies. No, they'll just give you money for anything that you give them. And literally all you have to do in order to give them information is just visit a port. So what they want right here is they want us to go to Gradier's Morn in the Corsair's Forest. Gosh darn it, I am not good at half these words. Corsair's Forest. There we go. I know that word. Gradier's Morn. I honestly have no idea. I'm sorry if I'm messing up half these words. Normally when I read, it's not out loud. My father has a very good voice that he is able to read far better to an audience than I am. And so what they want is us to visit this place and pick up information. So we'll go, yeah, if we ever get there, we'll do that. But we can't do anything else at the moment. So the best thing we can do right now is... Wait. One other thing we can do is we can get information from the town. You know, just recent news and gossip. This will actually help us, and we've also gained supplies. The undersea, the paper's report has undergone another alteration. No, it hasn't, you know. Oh ho, promotional coupon. Oh, so we got a coupon that gave us extra supplies. Nice, so we now have 6 supplies, and we have 9 fuel. So, let's get going. We already know where we're headed. Let's get launching. For all you guys who don't know, I'm actually using the WASD keys to steer. This is my own personal, what do you call it, opinion that these are the best keys for me. If you want to, there's also the arrow keys, but it's a different setting. It's like inverted. And honestly, I like this. So as you see, as we go around discovering new places, we gain these fragments. And since Hunter's Keep is actually on our list, we're going to go make a stop there. And we discovered the low barnet, so we're going to turn in here. Round a good ship, lollipop, it's a sweet trip to the candy shop. Is it? Is it a sweet trip? I don't know, I haven't been to a candy shop recently. Do those even exist? I mean, I saw one a while ago, but still. Do they exist? Okay, so what we have here is a challenge. We can spy on the house. Oh wait, I should probably read this first. A hub of dark rock swathed in mist, like 100 other undersea islands. But here, a grand house, windows aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight, raked gravel paths. You stand on a dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. Unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. Inspector Lorne Fluke with the anxious university student. Oh yeah, he'd asked us to go here. You can just make out the Luke spikes over the grass. Okay. It lies on a store just behind the hill. You can just make out the fluke spikes over the grass. The ancient student rushes by you, whooping, but stops on the hilltop. On the shore, standing before the mass of dead needles, is a drowny in a Nusian postal uniform. He glowers at you. This is not where the fluke belongs, the drowny cries in a plummy voice. It's to be taken elsewhere. It already has a delivery label. That means I'll have to deliver it. The student sneers. Sold your label, my lord. Help me haul the beast to Station 3. My advisor at the college has arranged room there for dissection and study. My work will benefit us all. Who will the corpse go to? Ooh, interesting artwork. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the student says. The label, it is labeled already, so honestly, I like taking this to Station 3. I think we should take us to Station 3. Let's do that. The Lorn fluke is tied by very reluctant sailors to drag behind your stern. On your deck, the anxious student twitches with delight. I can't believe what we have. I'm just... Was that the right voice? His hand tightens on the railing. The downy postman stares up at you. It's natural for corpses to grimace, but when the corpse is still alive is actively upset at you, it is additionally disturbing. God darn it, I can't talk! Okay, so we have a couple other things. Present yourself at the house. They will have heard your ship come in. Why hide? Walk in the gardens. Take a couple of burly sailors with you, just in case, but the gardens are tranquil at moonlight. Reconnoiter the island. Plunging cliffs, soft green lawns, well tucked away in the fold of the gardens. Anything else? This is always good, because these are the ship's reports. These reports are the stuff that you can sell to actually get money from the Admiralty. So, we'll make a ship report. And, spy on a house. I'm going to take the chance to spy on a house. Sometimes these give you some interesting things. Piano music drifts above the terrace. You peer through a half-open French window into a grand parlor, grand in size, if a little reduced in style by dust and neglect. A dark-haired, pale-skinned young woman bends earnestly over a piano keyboard. Another fair-haired, but unmistakably her sister, sprawls on the sofa with a book. A third sits by the fireplace, staring sorrowfully into the embers. Soon, she says, and the piano music falters and stops. We'll go hungry, and then the end will come for me, but not for you. The pianist raises her eyes from the keyboard. Hush! If we don't speak of it. She frowns. Has she seen you at the window? You withdraw. You succeed in a Veils challenge. The higher the quality, the higher the chance of success. Okay, so we have 25 Veils. So we won with 25 Veils. You know something of Hunter's Keep. You gained 40 fragments. New total is 190. So, interesting thing is, as you go gathering fragments, you turn these fragments into experience points that you can use to progress the story along, or progress your characters along, or even progress you along. And it's always helpful to do as much of that stuff as possible. So now we have an understanding of what's going on at Hunter's Keep. Well, barely an understanding. We know something. We can present ourselves to house. Knock and enter. A maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlor, where 3 young women wait. A visitor! The youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. Do excuse the indocrum, she says. Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe, and the cheerful one is Lucy. You are in good time for lunch. Will you join us? You're acquainted with the Sisters of Hunter's Keep. Distant bells. You'll find a story when you next make port. Well, we're already in port. We can have dinner with one of the girls. Let's see, which one would we want to have dinner with? Cynthia is the eldest, melancholy, pensive, occasionally dramatic. Lucy, the middle sister, is sunny, restless, prone to giggles. And Phoebe is soft-voiced, watchful, and unpredictable. Now, here's the thing about the sisters. As long as you don't progress their story, you can get bits of fragments from the gods, which help you do certain things along the road. One of them that I've always been very helpful with has been... so either way, each one of these girls is associated to the 3 different gods. So whichever one we go to, they'll tell us a story, and that story gives us something. It's a god's token favor, pretty much, and we can use that later on in the game. I can't remember who's... There are 3 gods. There's Storm, there's Salt, and then there's one other one. I can't remember who the other one is, but I think I always go with Lucy, so let's go with Lucy. A daft tale. Lucy leans over and whispers to you confidently. A complex story about a butler, a pig, and an inheritance. You don't follow all the details of the plot, but somehow the pig ends up in an attic and the butler in a Visar's bed. The candles flicker, dishes enter and leave, and the wind butts gently at the window panes. By the time the plum pudding arrives, you are as cheerful as you've been in months. That's all for now. You've You're acquainted with the Sisters of Hunter's Keep. Nice. You gained 1 supply. Nice. You've lost 25 hunger. Also very nice. And we now have the Gods of Disease Stone's attention. There we go. That was it. There's Storm, Salt, and Stone. So Stone is one of the gods, and if we now have their attention, meaning we have a token of their faith. But we also have more news. The parlor is empty. Where are the sisters? The maid makes it clear through a series of unwelcoming growls that Phoebe and Lucy and Cynthia are all 3 indisposed. No lunch today, apparently. But we do have a recent news, which we can use to unlock another token. Dare Tremble's Breath of Change. No longer have this, so next time we go into port, we're going to have to pick up more news. You ask the sulfur-eyed maid to carry a few hints of your news to the sisters. Oddly enough, she comes back with a message that their headaches are cured and you are invited to lunch. Nice. So now we have Lucy. I believe it was Phoebe that I always went to, now that I think of it. Here's a story. Phoebe has a story to tell of 2 lovers parted by water, of a raven that carried messages, of a fragment of a moon. She beats time on the table as she speaks, as if to a song only she can hear. The effect is hypnotic. Your attention drifts out through the skylight of the dining room to the false stars glittering in the roof of the cavern. You drift like a puffball spore. The undersea shimmers below. Islands lie like mineral specimens on black velvet. Ships bob like wood chips between the islands. Vast spine things pulse in the depths. There's a scent like the scent before a storm. There's scent like the scent before a storm. That makes no sense. So, the storm came, says Phoebe quietly. Everything changed. Somewhere in there, you finish the last course. The scowling maid reluctantly serves cheese and Bath Oliver biscuits. That's all for now. You have 1 memory of distant shores. I think that's what we need to find our father. You are acquainted with the sisters, but something has changed. You've gained one more supply. Nice. And your fragments remain unchanged at 190. An occurrence, you now have the storm. You now have Storm's attention. Nice. So we now have attention from both Stone and Storm. So that's pretty good. Let's get going again. If you're wondering why I'm going so slow, this is actually the fastest I can go right now with the ship's current abilities and all its get out. Now that is a pirate ship. We're going to attack it. I fought many a pirate ship. I fought you before, pirate ship. I will not be bothered by you. You're quite easy to kill if you know how to do it right. And honestly, if you attack pirate ships, you get some more supplies and such. You can't take the ship. She's a volatile vessel and the seas aren't safe. Take what you can. But you can grab stuff from her. And you can find interesting items. Like, we found a cache of curiosities. And it's a barrel. Upon opening it, we find a frickin' of prisoner's honey. Oh, nice. That stuff actually goes for a lot of money in the undersea. And we can actually sell that as soon as we get back to London. Nice. We've also gained 20 more fragments from what we can see down here because we discovered the tomb colonies. Also discovered Carissa's Point. And we've discovered Venderbright. This was actually where we need to take that tomb colonist that we have on our ship at the moment. So what we're going to do, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to park us right here. We're going to drop off the tomb colonist, and then I'm going to end it right there. You know, nothing special. And then, if you guys want, we'll start this up in a new episode. How's that sound? So, tomb colonist, tomb colonist, tomb colonist. Boop 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 doo 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 doo. Okay, the trouble with tomb colonists. You brought the decaying immigrant north. Now what? Days of shrooms and roses. The new tomb colonist surveys Venderbright, shaking her head. It won't do, she says. It won't do at all. A plan. I had no idea the place would be quite so unprepossessing. Perhaps we can liven it up a little. Yet, if only I knew a helpful Z captain. I guess that's where we come in. Bring 10 units of mushroom wine to Venderbright, and perhaps they'll have something for you. Bring wine to Venderbright. You've lost 1 tomb colonist. Okay. So, this is where I'm going to end this episode. Pretty interesting. We now have a couple new items we can do. I'll find them here in our journal. We have to find our father's bones. We also have to help the Emeraldy by making our way to Great Ear's Morn. And we also have to help this tomb colonist and bring him wine. As much as that's interesting. And it's very interesting. So, with that said and done, this is where I'm going to leave this episode. Everyone have a great day, and space out, everyone.